thieves as 24 take over the Chevron station in Lincoln Heights.
The video is haunting. You see dozens breaking in, stealing, and terrorizing, and yet no arrests have been made.
0 arrests have been made, and you want to know why that is? Police in these sanctuary cities are tapped out. And after years of defunding the police, local cops cannot both protect businesses and run around town every time activists spar with federal agents. And as total lawlessness tied to California's refusal to get illegal fugitives off its streets spirals out of control, hundreds of family-run businesses now have very tough choices to make.
Elena Kasanska owns the Pizza Moon store. She spent hours cleaning up after vandals broke her glass door and others streamed in. Some jumped the counter looking for something of value. They also ran down a corridor to get to the kitchen. Lots of hoodies, hats, and masks as they go right by the security cameras.
You're looking at the aftermath of a street takeover that spiraled into looting.
It's hard for a business to recuperate after that because it's like they see these things happening and it's like no one's here to help them.
It wasn't the only business targeted in the early morning hours.
They got all their mail in there. I think they're cooked.
It's a gang of them at 24, 25 people. It's like an organized crime type of situation.
It's all over the city. It's everywhere. It's not just here. It's everywhere.
And just 2 minutes later, people broke into the AutoZone. Video from the scene shows some of the stolen merchandise recovered, including a car battery and boxes of rims.
3 suspects were arrested, but far too many are on the loose.
So for months, looters have been taking over parts of Los Angeles and nothing's been done to stop them. But what nobody's talking about is the police that would deal with situations like this. Well, they've been cut down for years to the point where they've barely had the resources to maintain whatever semblance of order these places had before a few months ago. And now things are even worse because over the last few months, the progressive outrage machine has infested the minds of sanctuary city residents, causing them to believe that when ICE arrests someone, they need to call the police and waste their time reporting a kidnapping. And while they do this, they take their rage and aggression out on the system in whichever way they can, destroying property and looting businesses while carrying the flags of any nation that isn't America. And all of this illegal immigration rioting, it creates an opportunity for the real criminals who are out there lurking in the shadows. They love this stuff because total anarchy just gives them more opportunities to do what they do best, which is why we're seeing so much looting happening at businesses which just a few years ago never seemed to have problems this bad. Gas stations, shopping centers, you name it, these places are getting ransacked and the mayhem is spilling out to neighborhoods outside of Los Angeles, swallowing up California as a whole. And that brings us to the real reason why we've got this massive crime epidemic targeting local businesses and why it's only gonna get worse. These sanctuary cities, the people who live in these places think they're part of some national resistance movement and they're not backing down. And since these aren't law and order cities, which just so happen to be run by people who hate their own police, lawlessness of all kinds is expectedly growing. Plus, as America's 47th president continues his immigration win streak, the only outlet for the anger of these low IQ attackers will be their own neighborhoods and communities, which they claim they want to protect, which sadly means less police will be around to stop incidents like this one. It's finished. And if they had insurance before this break-in, they're probably going to get dropped after filing a claim for the entire business. And that's the thing. Businesses cannot survive beatings like this. And some of them cannot reopen after getting cleared out by thugs who care nothing for the lives of the law-abiding. Yet, as you're about to see, the people destroying these places keep doing it because zero consequences exist for this type of behavior.
A sudden burst of
Look at all
young
these people.
thieves as
almost 24 kids take over the Chevron station in Lincoln Heights.
Just ambushed the store and ransacked it pretty much.
Owner Jerry Salib says it happened in an instant. You could see the young boys grabbing boxes full of candy, as many chips as they could carry. They got away with more than $1,200 worth of goods.
When it's a gang of them at 24, 25 people, it's like an organized crime.
It is.
Situation.
That's what it is.
Those 25 kids could easily overpower my cashier. And
thankfully, the cashier wasn't injured. The drama erupting Thursday evening at Daly and Mission. You can see the thieves ride up on their bikes and scooters and run in.
Now, where do you think these misfits learned this type of behavior? Where do you think they got the idea that this was okay? Is it at all possible that they learned it because adults who do this same kind of thing never get sent to jail and get to go home at the end of a long looting spree and brag about all the stuff they just got for free? Or is it also because their ICE-hating parents who want open borders are out there rioting and attacking police officers and they get away with it as well? And how many of these people robbing these places or attacking law enforcement are in the country without permission to begin with? These are big questions. But judging by the behavior of California's adult population, it's no surprise that the crime they commit is being emulated by their offspring.
Many packing into the small store, they were running into each other in the chaos of the
they've all got masks.
Targeted and organized, premeditated, organized, and it's, of course, they're gathering so many of them that I can't even stop just one kid, right? It's 24, 25 kids, so you know, it's dangerous. Kind of helpless.
Salib says they've had minor theft before, but nothing like this. Adding to his frustration, he says the LAPD couldn't help.
Oh, really?
So there was nothing they can do about it.
Nothing.
So it's considered shoplifting, and shoplifting isn't something they can really go after.
Salib says given their tactics, thieves have struck before, and he's hoping they'll be held accountable before they commit another calculated crime.
By who? Who's going to hold him accountable? The police just told this guy over the phone, there's nothing we can do. And if they were to show up and arrest everybody, they would go before a judge, and you know what? The judge would set them free. Oh, boys will be boys. Let them go. And they would just go out there and do it again. The whole reason we have incidents like this is because there is no accountability. And you know what doesn't help? The fact that a gas station in a city just outside of Los Angeles has been getting raided over and over again, week after week, and nothing happens over there either. But as you're about to see, it doesn't just affect places that sell physical goods.
They broke the door of the market, the gates, and then they start going from tenant to tenant. There's 4 tenants in our plaza.
Elena Kasanska owns the Pizza Moon store. She spent hours cleaning up after vandals broke her glass door and others streamed in. Some jumped the counter looking for something of value. They also ran down a corridor to get to the kitchen. Lots of hoodies, hats, and masks as they go right by the security cameras.
This is a restaurant. This isn't even a place that has stuff inside you could steal and then resell on the internet. They're literally just destroying this business because they can.
Hold up. Wait. I'm sorry. Are you telling me niggas is what they trying to cook a pizza? Come on, man. What the hell? This is crazy. I'm just eating, watching this with y'all. That's crazy. The restaurant.
And because nothing's being done to stop them. And what's truly disturbing is all of this is happening more frequently now that the few police left in these areas are totally preoccupied with protests led by those who want to keep federal fugitives living in their communities for some reason. People who don't think that having gang members and criminals roaming their streets is a big deal at all. And by protecting those people and rising up against ICE, that causes issues for local law enforcement, because they've got to show up and keep the peace. You got businesses getting destroyed all over town. There's nobody around to stop stuff like this. And some of these businesses are run by legal immigrants.
As not much was taken other than her sense of security.
It almost felt like out of anger or like somebody to demonstrate something. Because as I spoke to our other neighbors, the financial damage or whatever they stole was not as significant as it was like the vandalism.
By the morning, LAPD detained at least one man.
One guy.
But LAPD says there were no arrests. It's unclear how many suspects they're looking for as store owners continue to take stock of their losses.
Look at this. So these police, they show up takes half the police force to come here after the fact. They detain one person, no arrests are made, and then the most disturbing thing about this, right here we have a little sign in the lower right corner which says there are security cameras, but people don't care. What's the point of a security camera? All it does is record somebody running around in a store with their face covered up. Nobody knows who that is. This doesn't lead to any arrests. And even if it did, these people would get let off because, as we heard from that other shop owner, oh, it's just shoplifting. What's the big deal?
Contained a GPS tracker. All three were taken into custody, and 2 vehicles were towed from the scene.
Look at this.
Angelinos say something has to change.
Yeah.
They say too many street takeovers keep turning into looting
This is
sprees,
crazy.
and it's local businesses that are paying the price.
They are.
It's all over the city. It's everywhere. It's not just here. It's everywhere.
Yep.
Realice encuestas pagadas en línea con Survey Lama. Descubra miles de encuestas disponibles en su cuenta. Los pagos se...
Yep.
So again, 3 suspects were arrested, but far too many are on the loose. If you know any information...
Right, so 3 people got arrested after raiding a sneaker shop right here and totally cleaning it out. But what do you think's going to happen to those people? Not enough to dissuade the thousands of individuals who are ready to go and do this the moment their gangs come up with this plan and post about it on Instagram. But what we're looking at here is a fallen society. All of the people you see doing this, what do they care about? They care about open borders. They hate the president. They hate law enforcement. They want to stick it to the system any which way they can. And to them, that means destroying prosperity wherever it is they see it, whether it's a sneaker store, whether it's a gas station, whether it's a pizza parlor that doesn't have graffiti on it yet. How else do you explain an attitude that thinks the destruction of businesses and private property is perfectly acceptable behavior? Look at this
See, the
place.
boards are up on the windows and they're closed today.
Look at this.
It's been a weekend of looting across Los Angeles.
It's all boarded up where like maybe a car hit it.
Edwin Hernandez heads to Navy boot
Yeah,
camp in
bus
the
of
morning
criminals
and
hit
stop
it.
by the WSS shoe store in Carson, only to find it closed.
And I came to get last minute shoes for, running to go train over there. I'm allowed to bring my own shoes. So we're in the area where the hotel is at.
LA
No,
County Sheriff's
burnout
deputies
marks.
say around 100 people flooded the corner of Wilmington and Del Amo during a street takeover overnight, and say it's connected to the burglary at the store around 3 a.m. on
So if you're going to let people take over a public intersection and cause mayhem, and nobody gets arrested for doing that, it's only a matter of time before they make their way from where you see these burnout marks into the store behind it that you see is full of Nikes or was full of Nikes and is now full of boarded up windows. Now, in the case of this business, yes, people could steal this stuff and resell it online. This is the exact type of opportunity criminals with an internet connection are looking for. But a lot of the other destruction we're seeing here, gas stations, a nail salon, a pizza parlor, it's just mayhem for the sake of mayhem. People broke into that restaurant. They didn't even know what they could steal, but they tried to find something. Crime is literally everywhere, and there is nothing the city can do about it, even when it comes to very, very minor types of crime that some people would say aren't as bad as cleaning out a business, but are exactly the type of lawlessness that tells people it's okay to clean out these businesses.
Oh, Susan, it didn't take long at all for this to happen. Go ahead and take a look. You might be able to see if you take a zoom in
Look at this.
on where the city came in and painted
Law
this
and
tunnel.
order.
There's that line of paint, the difference in color there. And then taggers had other ideas. Tug of war now underway in downtown LA. The city just cleaned this up. Ah, man, do it over. Do it over. Do it again and again and again and again. The city painted over graffiti in the 2nd Street tunnel. But this video, less than 24 hours later, shows dozens of taggers back at it, spray painting again.
Within the same day, the same night, you just seen a lot of people just came through and started doing their thing.
So the city
What?
cleaned this entire tunnel.
Okay, wait, that's crazy. So, so they paying people to paint it, and then you got people coming and say F that and paint right back over it. Why not just what the hell? That's crazy. That's like the thought process of people. Like, dog, the taxpayers are paying for this, and then you mess it up, so the taxpayers got to pay again and again and again and again. Not to mention, they're spending money on paint as well. Like, that's crazy.
They repainted over all the spray paint, and the same day it happened, people felt like, hey, we got a blank canvas to come out and re-practice our tagging. And look at all these people right here. You got cars driving by. There's cameras in this tunnel. It's well lit. Everyone can see what's happening, but you don't see any police. Nothing is being done. All of this criminal behavior has been effectively decriminalized. Sure, there's laws against it, but if nobody gets punished, nobody gets arrested, the police don't even come out when this stuff happens, it's going to keep happening. And that's the thing with decriminalization. What progressives want is they want the only consequence anyone faces for crime to be 15 or 20 minutes in the back of a police car before they're released. They don't want to see anyone losing their freedom.
Hold up. So they looted an AutoZone? Wait, hold up. Yo, that's AutoZone? What, they stole batteries? What the That's crazy, dog. Listen, I'm just watching this like, y'all, this is wow. So they looted an AutoZone? So, I mean, what the... I don't know, man. It is what it is. So look, man, periodically, man, I'm gonna actually make a playlist per day and come on this and just watch. You know what I'm saying? Because some people may not be watching this stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on. People may not be watching this. But, from time to time, I do watch stuff like this. But, hey, it's Justified TV.